Good day, boxing fans. Saturday night at Las Vegas, undefeated Demetrius Andrade will finally have a big name opponent in front of him when he steps into the ring against everybody's number one contender at super middleweight after undisputed champion Canelo Alvarez, when he steps into the ring against David Benavidez, another undefeated fighter over 12 rounds. Somebody's O has got to go. It's a great style matchup. It's a great fight. Stick around and let's break it down. Now, 35-year-old Demetrius Andrade is no doubt a very, very good fighter with very high level skills. But he's always, in running his record to 32-0 with 19 knockouts, that big name fight has always eluded him. Billy Joe Saunders is going to fight him at the stage. It got cancelled for I think it was a positive drug test on Saunders' past. And the big names have eluded him. He couldn't land the Canelo Alvarez fight, but he's collected world titles from junior middleweight to middleweight, and now he is at super middleweight. He is shorter than his opponent David Benavidez. He's got a slight 1 inch reach disadvantage because Andrade has got a deceptively wrong reach for his height. And as I've mentioned, he's the older guy. So can he score this big breakout win that's going to elevate him from just a guy who held a couple of world titles to a major player in the boxing world, to the elite level fighter? And it's going to be a hard ask because Benavidez is 27-0 with 23 knockouts. He is a tall guy at 6'2". He's a big super middleweight. He held the WBC title at one stage, but he lost it on the scales. He battles to make super middleweight, so he's a bigger guy. You know, Andrade came up from junior middleweight, now is at super middleweight. There's quite a span in poundage. And Benavidez is a really big super middleweight. His dedication has been called in question, but never his ability. And in his last fight, he had a great fight with Caleb Plant, a former IBF belt holder, and he prevailed on points when he finally got to Plant and started hurting him there in the late rounds. But until then, Caleb Plant, Sweet Hands, his nickname, had a lot of success with David Benavidez. He's got those quick hands, quick feet. And, you know, he beat him to the punch and he teed off on him many times in that fight. And Benavidez had to work hard for it. You know, before that, he fought David Lemieux. And he stopped Lemieux in a real ding-dong affair, mostly because of the heart of Lemieux, who kept fighting back. And David Lemieux, we know, is a big puncher. But even though he's faded, he could still whack. And he teed off on David Benavidez as well on his way of getting stopped. And you know, Benavidez didn't budge. Lemieux couldn't budge him. So, I don't think Caleb Plant necessarily hits harder than Demetrius Andrade. Is more of a boxer, but I think the faded Lemieux, at that stage, he can still hit hard. And I don't think Demetrius Andrade can hit harder than David Lemieux. So I don't think Andrade can really hurt David Benavidez. But I do think Demetrius Andrade has got a much bigger toolbox. He's, to me, the more skilled fighter. His defense is better. And he's a boxer, but he's also a great ring general, and he's a boxer in a different way that Caleb Plant was. Plant moves, and he's a speedster, and he's got that, whereas Demetrius Andrade can fight on the back foot, circles his opponents, and he walks his opponents onto shots. He makes them walk onto shots, he pot shots them, he lets go of his combinations, quick combinations, explosively, he's out of the way again. He can fight coming forward once he feels he's stronger than his opponent. He's a great ring general, he dictates where the fight goes. And that's something that I really like about Demetrius Andrade. Now, against David Benavidez, he's going to have to move around. I don't think he can move the Benavidez back. Benavidez will be too strong for him. And I don't think he's going to be able to compete in the power department of David Benavidez. But I do think he's going to outmaneuver David Benavidez. I do think he can outbox him. And I'm certain he can put hands on David Benavidez, because that's not the most difficult thing to do. But David Benavidez, like Andrade, is a good counter puncher. He's got a really good left hook, like we saw in the Lemieux fight and in the Caleb Plant fight as well. And he's got these heavy hands. It's maybe not always snap one and done, But if he keeps putting hands on you, eventually your face is going to bust up. You're going to slow down to a crawl and he's going to get to you. And if I look at Demetrius Andrade, look, he's looked impressive in his fights. You know, a decision over Liam Williams. You know, he knocks him down, but he doesn't finish him. That's always been the thing on Andrade. He knocks people down, he doesn't finish him. Jason Quigley got out of there quickly. And then in his last fight against Demond Nicholson, he went the distance. That was his only fight as super middleweight. There's been a lot of inactivity for Demetrius Andrade, unfortunately, in his career. And against Demond Nicholson, he won well enough. He knocked him down as well. I don't think he was that impressive because Demond Nicholson is a guy who's been stopped before in his career, before fighting Andrade, after fighting him. So, you know, I think at super middleweight, I don't think Demetrius Andrade has got great power. And that's the thing. I think David Benavidez doesn't care to outbox you and win every round. He's going to walk you down. He's going to be there and he's going to pound on you until you eventually keel over. So what will happen? There are a few smart money guys here and there that's going for Demetrius Andrade. I think he's a better boxer. Like I've said, I think he's more skilled. If I were the same size and the same age, I think I might go for Demetrius Andrade. But the thing here is David Benavidez is bigger, he's younger. He's got better momentum. He hasn't been all that inactivity. And what I also noticed with Andrade against Liam Williams and other fights, he does get caught at times. You know, sometimes he's good defensively, but sometimes he gets nailed on the button. Against Liam Williams, at one point he was nailed and he held on. You know, he got through it all right. He wasn't badly buzzed and staggering all over the place like Lemieux against Benavidez. But, you know, he seemed buzzed there for me for a moment. And, you know, that's the kind of thing that will happen against David Benavidez over 12 rounds. So I'm thinking Demetrius Andrade. Before I tell you what I think, please punch that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps the YouTube algorithm. You see, I'm getting better at these YouTubey things. But I think at some point, David Benavidez is going to hit him with his money shot, whether it's a left hook, whether it's a right hand. I think he will figure out that southpaw style. I think Demetrius Andrade might win rounds. I think he might pull ahead in the fight early on. But I think Benavidez will keep after him. He'll keep hitting him with those heady shots. And I think he's going to nail Demetrius Andrade at one point in the fight. And then I think he's going to be physically strong. He's not a European level guy like Williams or Quigley. He's going to be able to push Demetrius Andrade off him, and I think he's going to be able to hurt him, and I think he will stop him. So I'm going with David Benavidez with a late stoppage somewhere around 10 to 12, maybe around 11. So I'm thinking David Benavidez is going to possibly come from behind and stop Demetrius Andrade. That's what I think. Guys, tell me in the comment section, who do you have, David Benavidez or Demetrius Andrade, and why? But I think it's a classical fighter versus boxer confrontation. I like the skills of Andrade. I like the tenacity in the heavy hands of Benavidez. And if Benavidez is dialed in, I think the younger man is going to prevail. But tell me what you guys think. Please share the content among your boxing groups. And please remember to subscribe. And until I see you again, remember to keep those hands up.